Greetings, friends. This is Elizabeth Schermer and the Alchemy Mystery School with our full moon, our Taurus full moon message. The Taurus full moon occurred earlier this morning, which is October 31st, another very special day, which I'll talk about in a minute. So the timing of the Taurus full moon was 7:49 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday, October 31st. And this reading is specifically designed for today through the coming 2 weeks until the Scorpio new moon on November 14th. The illumination of this full moon is opening a portal, an energetic doorway, and you will have opportunities for new personal awakening and expansion. Moving forward really for the rest of your life, but especially over the coming 2 weeks, it will be really potent, leading up to then the new wave of potential at the Scorpio new moon, which is on November 14th. So my intention, and let's move into our hearts now, my intention is for each person receiving this message to receive exactly what they need. So we're asking to connect with the codes of light now to enable you to travel multidimensionally and experience exactly what is highest and best for you. So for those who may be new to these messages, what I do every 2 weeks with the new moon and full moon thresholds is work with the astrology chart and the principles of the zodiac and the principles of the new moon and the full moon through the lunation cycle to ask for a message that will be relevant for each of us, both in our personal journey and in our journey together as a collective. And so I use the tarot cards to pull a message that's universal for everybody right now. And this work has been going on for 10 years in a formal way, and the way that we in our community and everybody I hear from works with these readings is so beautiful, and it's such a privilege for me. So I want to encourage you to really realize that our guides and our higher selves are using these cards as an opportunity for you to receive a personal message and to drop into the aspects of this message that really resonate for you. Because if you're watching it, then you are part of what is being evoked right now. And a practical note, I receive a lot of emails. Sometimes these messages are posted on YouTube a full day before I have a chance to write the newsletter that goes with them. So if you're subscribed to the newsletter and not to the YouTube channel, while you watch the video, just click subscribe so that you receive notice of this message as soon as it posts. Okay, those are my logistics. Let's drop in. This is an incredible portal that we've stepped in today, doorway. Imagine stepping into a new beginning. And I have the Fool on the top of the altar right now because the Fool in our cards is the card for Uranus, which is a very, very potent and unusually powerful part of this year's Taurus full moon. So we're going to talk about the energies of Taurus and Scorpio and how they work together. That's the Hierophant is Taurus, and the Death card is Scorpio. The Death doesn't mean physical death. It means metamorphosis and participation in the ongoing cycles of change. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the teachings of those two cards and the way that this beautiful full moon with Uranus activating it is enabling each of us to literally step into a new beginning in our life and in our collective. It's a phenomenal opportunity right now. The juxtaposition with the traditional holidays associated with October 31st and November 1st is also contributing to this potential. There are no accidents in the harmony of how the universe works. And so the lunar cycles are always timed at full moon and new moon to give us exactly what we need for the next step on our path. And that's personally and also in our collective journey here. So the energies today and tomorrow of these holidays that are expressed through many cultures. If people celebrate the traditional Celtic calendar, we know this holiday as Samhain, Day of the Dead, All Souls Day, and the celebration of the ancestors is also associated with this time. And of course, in the United States, perhaps elsewhere, I'm not sure, the traditional holiday of Halloween that's been celebrated over, I guess, the last 100 years or so here is also rises out of these other longer, older traditions. What this tradition relies on in the cycle of the year is what is called the thinning of the veil, and that's significant right now for the full moon. The thinning of the veil refers to a natural time every year when we approach the midpoint of Scorpio, when we have such a deep connection to our emotional roots and our collective awareness together of community. We have such a deep connection to community and emotional roots, including our lineage, that the quote veil literally thins. And what that means is that the boundaries of this physical reality become more clearly connected or dissolve a bit so that we experience other dimensions and realms of awareness. And so the association with Day of the Dead is because we can connect easily with our ancestors right now. The power of the energy of emotional connection that is Scorpio enables us to expand beyond our perceptions of the boundaries of this reality and to expand into the other realities that we are already swimming in always. So I hope that makes sense. I really wanted to connect with the importance of this day because this dissolving of boundaries is a huge part of what the power of this full moon is bringing forward for each of us. I'm feeling emotional right now, which always signifies an energy of truth that's coming through. When we feel emotional about things, whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable, it's a signal that we are aligning with some quality of truth that is underneath the surface of things. And Scorpio is all about energy rising, truth rising through our deep emotional power. And so I guess it's time to talk a little bit about Scorpio. The reason that the death card is associated with Scorpio energy is because death is a process of metamorphosis, and this is symbolic death, that our ability to participate over and over and over in the ongoing cycles of change, to release our fear of letting go of what we have known so that we can expand into new understandings and new realities and new experiences. And so that teaching, there are a couple of things I want to say about this painting that communicate those teachings. One is the flexibility. The first thing is, this is an image of the legend of Osiris dancing on the bottom of the ocean before resurrection. And the crown signifies the resurrection and the birth of new life. So this is a representation of each of us on our own path of rebirth. The flexibility of the form of the skeleton signifies a flexibility of releasing the past in order to step into new form and new birth. And then that is the rising of the bubbles. So when I meditated, which are abstract here, but there are bubbles rising to the surface, and that's the rising of emotions that enable us to be reborn, to heal and be reborn. This is a card of mystery. It happens beneath the surface of things. And Scorpio every year requires us to go beneath the surface, to allow ourselves to experience and uncover whatever's been repressed or hidden, because it's part of our own power and our healing that is necessary. The Taurus full moon is a huge opportunity every year. Taurus is the complementary or opposing sign to Scorpio. Both of these cards and both of these zodiac signs are about the power of love. This is Scorpio is about the power of our emotions and the power of emotional love to heal. And Taurus, as the fixed earth sign is the power of our bodies and the power of the beauty of the physical world to heal, the power of grounding and embodiment and learning about the truth of the love of who we are as human beings in a body. And so the key when I meditated on the Scorpio card and asked for the key energy to bring into today's session, it was the rising of the bubbles, the rising of our emotions and receiving them with love. And then when I meditated on the key of the Hierophant today for our message, it was the power of the truth of our love and who we are and our commitment to that. So if you can see it, the root chakra of the Hierophant, the Hierophant is an ancient term for a high priest and teacher. And you is grounded. The teaching of this is that our love and life in the world is grounded through our love and our connection to the Divine Mother and the sword of justice and truth of who we really are. So that is our challenge today and at this time, is to align with inner authority. This is the secret of life and the secret of victory in this world. And that's his sign of victory pointing down, the victory to secret in life and health and well-being and all forms of abundance, which are Taurus. The Taurus full moon is to ground into the love and beauty and truth of who we are and trust our own authority. And then we can move forward in life. Venus rules Taurus, and so that's a very important energy for this full moon, which is our ability to fully love and to trust and love. We've been receiving a lot of lessons about love this year, and we continue to do so. So, moving forward from the importance of the power of love, this full moon is giving you the opportunity to have a new awakening through the power of love, through the power of using your tools to own and trust your own emotions and what's being revealed. So let me just drop in to synthesize. We could spend, as with most of the new moon and full moons this year, we could spend a full day talking about the teachings here. So I want to be clear and strategic with the next piece to bring forward. Show the chart. The chart, a key aspect that I would like to just point out about the chart for those of you who follow astrology is here's the full moon Uranus exact conjunction to the same degree of 9 Taurus opposed the sun, which is at 9 Scorpio. The Sabian symbol for 9 Taurus is to trust the light within. The symbol itself is a fully decorated Christmas tree, holiday tree in a home. What that represents is the beauty of ceremony and symbol and the trust we have in the ongoing cycles of life, even in the darkest hour. For those of us in the northern climate, the darkest hour in the northern hemisphere, the darkest hour, we know the light returns, and that's what we celebrate at winter solstice. So this is an image of the importance of trusting in the light and trusting in the cycles and having faith in the universe that we will be supported. That's a big energy for right now, and that's part of what is important about this teaching of the Hierophant, is to trust the light within. Trust the light within. Trust the light within. And then be available for new awakening. This opposition of the full moon is removed from the squares that are activated and focused on the historic conjunction we've been talking about so much in Capricorn. So what's significant there is just a moment, please. What's significant here is that the squares represent the need and desire to take action. That the actions come because this conjunction, the Uranus conjunction with the full moon, is so much more powerful than anything else right now, that your need to take clear, distinct action in alignment with your truth will come from you aligning with your truth. Don't jump to practical reactionary habits. It's really important to be available for new awakening, new insights, new realizations. That always happens at the full moon. So now we're going to talk a little bit about Uranus and what is amazing about this full moon. So the Fool represents this the beautiful planet that supports transformation. So the energy of Uranus is the energy of sudden awakening. It's the energy of new insights and realizations and brilliance and spontaneity and freedom and optimism. And it's also the energy of unexpected events and changes that happen in a flash. It's the energy of sudden discomfort that comes from change that we didn't expect or know would happen. It can the basic power of Uranus is to break apart whatever has become crystallized that isn't supportive of moving forward. That's why it's called a transcendent planet. It transcends the past. And so in order to participate in the energies of change, which are obviously all around us right now, Uranus helps us, and the teachings of the Fool card are the strength of relying on the unlimited potential of new birth and letting go of the past. So the Fool is very, very strong. He's centered in his heart, the emerald green. His strength comes from his heart and trusting the wisdom of his heart. His refers to you also. It's the quality of trust moving forward. And then feet off the ground. No attachment to what has been is what enables you to be fully present to new possibilities and new potentials and new birth. So coming into a possibility of complete new birth, the quality is of awakening. Awakening isn't always easy. Sometimes it requires us to go through enormous challenges. And so another word for, or term, or phrase for Uranus is dark night of the soul, because sometimes our periods of initiation and healing happen by moving through a period of challenge. And so the quality of trust and faith is really important here. And the cards I pulled, I consulted the cards to ask now for a message of practical support for us as we step into this amazing portal or doorway of thinning of the veil, of new awakening, new realizations, new revelations. And some of those will include seeing things we haven't expected to see, or experiencing things in our own bodies we haven't expected to experience. Seeing things in the culture, things being disclosed in the culture. This is happening individually for us and also for us as a full collective. It's enormously significant after all the work that we have all done this year and all of our practices and processes of personal and spiritual evolution to be available now for a new birth and a new rising of individual and personal empowerment through the power of love. This is not about a superficial power. This is the power of love that goes deep and fierce and committed to the highest and best for all, and willingness to show up for whatever, my willingness to show up for whatever I need to learn in order to be a full participant. Okay, so with that said, we will jump now we'll dive into the spread for our Scorpio full moon. Taurus full moon. The energy of Scorpio is so strong because what Taurus is doing at the full moon is helping us go deep to connect to the power of our emotions. This full moon will help you be comfortable with the depth of your emotions so you can own them in your own body instead of being overwhelmed or lost in them. That's the shadow of Scorpio, is to be lost in the deep ocean of the waves of emotion. So the Scorpio full moon every year is this amazing opportunity to bring forward all the tools and practices you've been doing. Just consider this particular year and the last several months. An opportunity now to bring forward all of them, to really feel in your body what needs to rise, and then have the skills and tools you need to embody that and to incorporate, and we call it alchemizing, to incorporate the alchemy of all of your feelings so that you can heal and expand and draw down more light and more light and more potentials and more opportunities, more new birth. So the awakening process of Uranus is always about new birth, new opportunities, and new ways to heal and grow. Okay? So the first card we're going to start with in the center, in the position of mind, in the spread, is the card for Scorpio. Death representing rebirth. So if you haven't worked with the cards and the word death is uncomfortable, what I encourage you to say is metamorphosis, transformation, transcendence, rebirth. Because that is what, in the cycles of time, that's the rising of something new happening. And what this process is right now is the rising of the truth of who you are, the rising of emotions, the rising of what's been hidden and suppressed. Okay? That's the point of awareness right now. What's rising for you? And then in the position of circumstances, we got the card for alchemy. So I mentioned a minute ago that what we are doing now is learning to be alchemists in our bodies. That's the dance of Scorpio and Taurus every year, is the dance of being an alchemist in a practical way in your body. It's so beautiful. And the lust card, the art card in our deck, in other decks, this is called Temperance. And what it represents is the alchemy of consciousness, the alchemy of owning your emotions, owning your experiences, and working with everything in your life to become more of who you are. And recognize here that she, the alchemist in this image, is also bright, deep emerald green, working with the fire of your intentions and your will, the water of your emotions through your powerful heart. This is an incredible synchronicity with the power of this time, and a message for you to trust that you are in the perfect place at the perfect time. And whatever's showing up for you, whether in inner experience or in outer circumstance, is the exact opportunity you need for the next step of your evolution. We are on accelerated evolution now, and everything that's happening for each of us is part of what we are doing as a collective. The practical message, these are, if you work with the cards, you know these are called major arcana cards, and they represent big fields of consciousness. And the practical message here is in the position of spirit. The Five of Wands, it's called strife. It represents stress. It represents emotional and energetic and creative intensity. And in the position of spirit, what this represents is we have support right now. This doesn't represent that source and spirit and your higher self are going to be creating stress. What represents is there is support for stress. The Five of Wands is specifically associated with the Hierophant, who's the number 5, and it represents all processes of growth and change. And so in the position of spirit, this says there is unprecedented support right now for all processes of change in your life. And you will receive exactly the help you need. All you have to do is ask. Stress, we experience stress, we experience strife, we experience conflict when we have resistance to change. And so the final message of the spread today of what to do, or what is crossing all of this, is the Two of Cups love. This is an enormously strong synchronicity that what is the path we are on right now is a path of union, and a path of learning what love really is, and a path of transcending our fears that lead us to conflict and resistance in order to step into new qualities of trust and willingness to engage fully in our circumstances from the strength of love and trust in the power of love to heal and unite paradoxes. In our work on with Tree of Life, the two represents a very high spiritual practice of union of opposites. and the way that love is the blending and binding of opposing forces that ultimately create a whole. In our world right now, we are being encouraged to polarize. We are being encouraged to push against and to fight against each other. And in this way, we lose our power. We place our energy and our life force in fighting against what we don't want. Did you just hear my throat break? It fights, it cuts us off. It cuts off our power. It cuts us off from who we are. When we put our life force into saying what we don't want, we don't have connection to the light anymore. We become, we amplify exactly what we don't want by giving our life force to opposition. So the greatest spiritual challenge right now is to transcend the forces that would have us oppose each other in order to hold space for healing. And we do this with fierce determination to love and learn and to listen, to let go of everything we thought we knew about the world. That's it, lifting your heels. Let go of everything you thought you knew about the world. Pay attention to what shows up in your own life. This full moon is going to give you amazing synchronicities. Some of them may come as blessings that feel like such great magic. Some blessings will come as unexpected challenges or obstacles. If you are able to show up for those and say, what is my opportunity here? Something amazing is happening. Shift from fear to curiosity. You will be amazed at how those circumstances can unfold. It's really important to ask for help when you need it. Part one of the challenges of Scorpio being under the deep emotions of emotional roots and emotional depths is to feel lost and to feel overwhelmed in the bottom of the ocean. It's important to reach up and ask for help. Raise a hand and say, I need a lifeline right now. We are doing this together. The power of Scorpio is through relationship. It's not about being alone. There is no way that any of us are going to make it through this alone. So if you are in a position of feeling overwhelmed, not being able to find your way forward, or simply need some extra support for whatever the activation was, there are going to be people around you who are available to give that support, because this is a period that is designed for us to work together. So hesitate not a second to reach out and ask for help when you need it. That's exactly what is happening. Perfect place, perfect time. Use your lifelines. Use those you trust. The other message that's coming through right now is ask for help and release the need for anyone else to understand your perspective or your truth. These forces of separation and are encouraging us to polarize. So you don't have to justify your opinions. You don't have to justify your perceptions. And at the same time, it's crucial right now to be curious and willing to learn. We have to be willing to learn. That's another piece of Uranus, is if we release what we thought was true, if we release our own perspectives and perceptions, if we commit to the higher truths of justice and freedom and health and life for all, then we are willing to explore and learn from others to see what we maybe didn't see before. So one of the principles I've been working with recently is the fifth agreement, which is be skeptical but willing to learn. And what that means is release your attachment. Skepticism is not cynicism. Skepticism says, I had ideas about what I thought were true, but maybe there's something new to learn. Be skeptical, especially about what other people and other perceptions and other beliefs from the past are right now. The awakening of Uranus is going to give new revelations of potentials and possibilities. Be skeptical about what you thought reality was about, because guess what? It's way better than we have ever imagined. It's way bigger than we've ever imagined. In order to learn about what's bigger and better, we have to let go of what we thought. So be skeptical and willing to learn. Be ready to learn from others. be ready to listen and actually I think that's yes, it's be skeptical but willing to listen. We learn by listening to others, not by exploring what you've already learned. Be willing to listen to others. Be willing to listen to your heart. Be willing to listen to your intuition. All of this is what will enable the unfolding of what's coming. So thank you so much for participating in this beautiful spread, in this beautiful message, and in the healing that comes through our conversations and our journey together. Let me just see if there's I jotted down some notes from the guides before I started. Trust the power of love. Commit to showing up. Commit to your values. The values that we are exploring together. We don't have to know how things will happen. We just commit to showing up and doing one step at a time. Ask the universe to show you the next step. Commit to showing up. Ask the universe and your guides to show you the next step. Own your feelings. Own your feelings. Own what's rising for you. Allow yourself to feel and then use your tools to embody and ground. Be present in your body now. Take care of yourself. If things are rising that are challenging, give yourself the time you need. Be willing to be flexible. Uranus requires a great deal of flexibility. Be willing to be flexible, to give yourself the time you need, and then be available to offer lifelines if someone else you know needs some time and needs some help. This is a dance we're in together, and it's we are learning more and more about the beauty and power of love. That's why we came. We are here to heal, and this is our world, and we are on an amazing journey. So thank you so much. Enjoy these next 2 weeks of adventure. We'll have a lot of stories to share out of what we learn the next few days. This is Elizabeth Schermer and the Alchemy Mystery School.